Welcome one, welcome all. This is Big Orange Talk here. I'm your host with Smokey Vaughn, and my partner here, as always, what is up, Mr. Happy Hour?
Hey guys, Mr. Happy Hour here. I'm good, man. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Again, today we'll be discussing 3 different topics. We're going to be talking about Tavon Jackson and his transfer to Indiana. We're going to talk a little bit about George McIntyre from the 25 early priority QB for the Vols. And we'll take a short look back at the 22 season and some expectations for 23 season. We hope that you are enjoying this up to this point with us here today. Again, guys, it is important for you guys to like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell button whenever you're watching us there, because, again, you will get all the content. You will see when we go live. When we do go live, it's easy, it's free, and it takes a second to do, and just go on with the show. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with it here today. Again, going on the Tavon Jackson here, that topic first, and I'm going to let our Mr. Happy Hour kick us off. And go ahead, bud. What are your thoughts about that? And, some of the things that he did, in his short career with us and things in that nature.
Well, I think before the transfer, I got to say that I'm a little disappointed. I understand because of the situation that he is in. He's between Joe Milton, who is 9 times out of 10 probably going to get the starting job with his performance at Clemson. And then he's, on the other side, you have the $8 million arm in Nico Imalieva. So I kind of understand he wants to go somewhere that he knows he's going to get some playing time, and at the same time, he's going back home to Indiana, which is where he is from. So if anybody's wondering, why Indiana, then that right there is a prime indicator as to why. As far as what his contribution, let's get into what was Tavon Jackson, what he offered. I'd like to start off by saying, before the transfer, though, we had probably, arguably, one of the best quarterback rooms. You had Joe Milton, who has plenty of that veteran experience. Then you have Tavon Jackson, kind of in the middle, who has some experience. He was very, very limited to playing time. I think early in the season he ended up, I want to say it was UT Martin or somewhere, where he, I think he broke his collarbone or something along the lines of that nature. So if anybody's wondering why he didn't get any playing time hardly at all, that would probably be why. Plus he's a redshirt freshman. But anyway, let's jump into Tavon Jackson, then we'll jump into what he contributed for Tennessee, and then we can move on. Tavon Jackson, like I said, from Greenwood, Indiana, went to Center Grove High School. He was a 198th overall 4-star prospect in the class of 2021, 13th rated quarterback overall, and the 7th player in the state of Indiana. 6'3", 200 pounds, great size for what Tennessee likes in their quarterbacks. Great frame, great skill. When we got this guy, when we landed him, he was supposed to be every bit of what we're claiming Nico is going to be now. He was supposed to be Tennessee's guy, Josh Heupel's guy, when, Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton moved on. But, you get Nico and you get what is considered a once in a lifetime generational quarterback. So you kind of got to run with that at that point. I guess Taven Jackson saw the writing on the wall, or he wanted to go back home to Indiana. Who knows? Athletic passer with good physical traits, has height and the body to fill in. Multi-sport guy who does athletic tasks fluidly and easily on the field. Elusive in the pocket, can take off and make plays with his feet, gets rid of the ball quickly, does not try to hold it too long or send-lot play despite his athleticism. Did not throw a high volume of balls in high school compared to other top quarterback recruits, and must continue to polish pure passing skills and mechanics. May need a year or two in college, but has a high ceiling. He's a pro-style quarterback, so he has the availability of being a dual threat. For some of y'all who are kind of unfamiliar with what a dual threat is, it's a quarterback who is very well versed in throwing the ball, and typically is one of those who can extend plays with their legs and likes to run upfield. So, that's a dual threat. Pro style is more of a traditional pocket passer style type of player. But yeah, he visited. His last visit was an official visit to Tennessee back on June 11th, 2021. Signed his letter of intent December 15th of 2021. I think he committed a little bit sooner than that. Enrolled on January 21st, 2022, and then hit the transfer portal as of January 13th of this year. Like I said, I hate it. I like the kid. I thought he had a lot to offer. But like I said, I understand, man, you want to go and be an immediate impact on your team and get some playing time. So I don't blame the kid one bit. As a competitor, you got that drive and that heart to want to play, and you feel that you are second best to nobody. So, you can't really blame the kid. Give me 1 second. I will have some stats up. Like I said, he didn't play a whole lot. He didn't contribute, but he did have some work for Tennessee. Here we go. All right, Taven Jackson's stats for Tennessee in the year 2021. I think he had 4 total passes. He completed 3 of them. He had a 75% completion percentage, 37 total yards, averaged 9.3 yards. His longest pass was 22 yards, and he had a rating of 152.7. Real quick before we move on, his first snap came against Ball State Thursday, September 1st. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. He didn't take a snap at all. I think, if anything, he might have took the victory snap on that game. We won that one 59-10. And then Akron was September 17th. He passed for 2, completed for 2 with a 100% completion rating, 28 yards, 14 yards per carry. And I think he had a QB rating of 94.3. And then you go into UT Martin, which was the last game that he participated in. We won that game 65-24. 2 attempts, 1 completion, 50% completion rating, 9 yards, 4.5 yards per pass. The longest was 9. He had 1 sack, which I think is what ultimately led to the collarbone. With a QB rating of 62.2. So there you have it. That's what we have on Taven Jackson. I think he had tons and tons of potential. And if you ever paid attention when you see the Hendon Hooker or Joe Milton go to the sidelines, they're all right there together having a good time. You can really, really tell that they had that brotherhood. But like I said, as a competitor, you feel you're second best to nobody. So you want to be that immediate impact and get yours, which I understand. But
absolutely. Absolutely. And let's give it up for the young man. Tavon, you're going to do wonderful things out there. Give it up for him. Awesome, awesome. And now, again, before we start on our second segment here, I do want to go ahead and say again, guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell button also, because that will let you know anytime we post new content or decide to go live. Definitely do that for us, guys. That would help our channel out tremendously, get us monetized, and let's see what we can do. And now on to the second segment.
Y'all help us get closer and closer to where y'all pay our bills.
There you go. So, again, we're moving on to the second segment with George McIntyre. Now, there's not much on this guy that I can really tell you. He is a 6'5" quarterback, 178 pounds. He does reside in Brentwood, Tennessee. He's the class of 2025. He goes to Brentwood Academy. Now, he is ranked a 4-star quarterback at this time as a freshman in high school. So it's pretty remarkable that he's already, got that kind of star ratings. Nationally, he's ranked 30th, number 2 quarterback and number 2 in Tennessee. But nationally being 30th, you can't go too wrong with that. I mean, at least it's not 50th, right? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, he's a highly rated 4-star quarterback. I mean,
yeah.
Right now, I think the battle's for Vanderbilt and Tennessee, and I mean that could honestly go up at any point. Like Nathan Laycock, before last year, he was a 3-star, and then now he's a high 4-star. So that changed it for you, and we got 2 more years from this kid. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, the recruiting list goes from Auburn, FIU, Florida State, Miami, and Michigan. Those are the ones. He was recruited by Frank Ponce over at Miami, and then Tony Tokards from Florida State. They're all really cool on interest level, though. That there's nothing really popping off hot-wise there. I mean, right now, Auburn looks like they got the most quarterback, listings out there. And it just, I think that anybody that's got the right mind, I mean, in 25, we're still going to have some of these guys that are coming in right now. And then 26 and 27, there will still be at least 1 or 2 of those receivers coming in. So I think that'll be big.
Have you seen the new recruits? Which I think we're going to do. We should definitely do a video on the 2024 recruits, especially the recruits that attended Junior Day this past weekend. 2 of them, I just want to go ahead and kind of let everybody know. 2 of them that I'm excited for. Ron Wingo, which is a 5-star recruit in the number 1 receiver, I believe, in the class of 2024, and then Mike Matthews, the number 1 rated athlete, and he's a 5-star. So 2 guys I like. We'll get y'all educated on or caught up on, and get y'all as excited as we are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That'll most definitely be on our Wednesday episode, and much more than just that. This kid, George, he's got a pretty good wingspan of 77 inches, hands 9 inches wide. And again, as I said, 6'5", 180 pounds. What's really awesome about this guy is he's a dual athlete. He does play basketball as well. And there has been reports of hoops offered from Arizona State and FIU. Again, no telling what this kid's going to end up doing.
6'5", 180, man. Good God.
Yeah, he's a tall guy.
You get him to about 190, maybe 200. He's pretty much a Joe Milton dude. Like if he has the arm strength, dear God.
Absolutely, I agree. Now he does have connections with FIU. His uncle Mike McIntyre is the coach at FIU. Formerly was at Colorado. You know, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm just reading. Like,
is it high school or college?
No, that is a college, but it's not a Power 5 school.
Yeah, it's community college or something, right?
Yeah, it is. But now the thing is his grandfather was the late former head coach at Vanderbilt and UT Martin. So that's where the Vanderbilt, relation comes into play, is because his grandfather was the coach there. But yeah, I mean, his timeline is kind of short here. 22 of October this past year, Auburn went after him. Again, Vanderbilt back in November. And then he goes to Florida State twice. So he went to Florida State on the 25th of November and then right back there again December the 5th. And then as of recently in 2023, actually about 4 days ago, he got an offer from Miami Hurricanes. So the kid's got a lot of opportunity. He is a freshman in high school, so I'm sure that he's just trying to kind of enjoy his high school years at this point. But I think that he would definitely be a wonderful candidate to come in. But, 2026 is really where we need to be looking at, because 23, 24, 25, 26, and possibly 27, we're going to have Nico. So whoever comes in is going to, kind of be with him, and he'll teach them just like Joe's teaching him right now.
Ideally, yeah, absolutely. Which that's the type of people that Josh Heupel and this coaching unit is trying to pull in. That brotherhood type player that is wanting to coach up the next man. That way, when either they go down, plug in the next man up, or get them ready for whenever it's their time. So that's what I love about these groups of guys. That's what I love about the culture that Josh Heupel and them are building. And that school is Florida International University. I've never fucking heard of them, but
I've never heard of that in my life.
So, I mean, this guy seems like he has interest mostly from what it looks like either Tennessee, because right now it looks like Vanderbilt is a high possibility as it stands on on3.com, but Tennessee's right there behind, and then I think it had Miami and a couple other Florida team programs in the mix. So I think it's going to be one of those two states that get him. I just don't know what.
I think so too. Absolutely, 100%. And guys, I mean, we don't have much to say about him. I mean, there's not even really any high school stats right now because his season has just begun. They're in pads all day. But you made a good point, Mr. Happy Hour, and I do want to point it out. Mr. Heupel and all his people and everybody else, and congratulations on the OC. Everybody put your hands together for the OC hire. Everybody. And hey, give yourself a back pat there, because Heupel, you've done a great job. You're bringing in wonderful, wonderful talent. I'm so happy for the Tennessee organization as a whole. Okay, that's enough. All right, so anyways.
Coach Heupel is making people believe in the hype.
That he is. And guys, before we move into the third and final segment, I just again, want to let you guys know again, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, because again, we will be live on and off, and again, it will give you notifications when we do have new content up. And again, we're going to move on to the last and final segment tonight, just to look back on the 2023 season and, kind of give our expectations on what we feel or what we think should be conspired in 2023. And Mr. Happy Hour, go ahead and kick us off on that, bud.
So You know, we obviously know Brew McCoy's coming back. We know that we got Dante Thornton. We know we got the future quarterback in Nico. I think Joe Milton's going to be the catalyst for this offense. He's going to be the leader until he's proven unfit. I think I'm calling my shot right now. I think it is highly possible that Brew McCoy and Dante Thornton are both going to be in the mix for the Biletnikoff Award for 2023. I think I'm calling my shot now. Joe Milton is going to be at least in New York for the Heisman Trophy. He may or may not win it. I'm going to call my shot and say he's winning it. But he is going to be in New York because he is going to pop the fuck off. And I cannot wait for him to prove all the doubters wrong. If we're talking about the 2022 season, I guess I'm going to go through my highest, my lowest, and where I think the corner kind of turned that Tennessee probably very well could be back. I guess I'll start with the whole where Tennessee kind of could be back. For me, that it was the LSU game. A lot of people could say Florida or Bama, and those are two great points. But we had already beaten Florida. Everybody was saying, we got to beat the big three, Florida, Bama, and Georgia. Luckily, we got two out of the big three. For me, though, LSU, because we went on the road to LSU in Baton Rouge, people want to downplay it and say because it was at noon, that is the only reason we won. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Because when you go on the road in a hostile environment like LSU, it's their point to where they need to show up and play or support the team, and they didn't. By the time third quarter rolled around, I believe you had LSU fans leaving, and then all you could hear is Rocky Top being sung, and I fucking loved every bit of it. But that was the point where I think, and I mean, we boat raced the ever living shit out of LSU, and that was the point where I thought we had at the turning point where Tennessee had a shot at the national championship. And then fast forward to the high, the absolute high, Bama. Everybody could probably agree that is the high point of this season. Not just going 11-2, but just getting over that 15-year hump. I mean, Jalen Hyatt going off, Brew McCoy. Like, if the two unsung heroes, Romeo Keaton, the pass before, getting us to the half yard or the halfway mark, and then Brew McCoy coming down with a big boy catch and getting us set up for the field goal. That's heard around the world. So that's the high point. The low point, it's got to be that fucking South Carolina loss, dude. Like, oh, we're never going to live that down. But if you were to tell me 2 years ago that, 2 years in Josh Heupel era, that we're standing at 11-2, beating 3 of the last 4 national champions, I'll fucking take it any day in the week. I will take it any day in the week, and that's year 2. And these are with 3- and 4-star prospects. Imagine that pipeline starts flowing through, and we start getting players through the draft. You done got Velus Jones. You done got Cedric Tillman going. You've got Hendon Hooker going. You've got Jalen Hyatt going. You've got probably Darnell Wright going. You just got a plethora of talent finally moving. Imagine next year we get Brew McCoy in. Dante Thornton, maybe, if he decides to go. Maybe he comes back and he runs it one more year. You there? If Brew McCoy, my hope is Brew McCoy gets the Blitnikoff next year. Dante Thornton stays this year or one more year, and then he gets the Blitnikoff, and then we get Ryan Wingo, we get Mike Matthews. These guys, a legitimate 5-star talent. Like not knocking any of the guys that we've had. They blended well together. But imagine what Josh Heupel can do when he starts getting 5-stars. We've seen what the fuck he can do with 3 and 4-star and some 5-stars sprinkled in. Imagine what the fuck he will do with legitimate 5-star talent, a 5-star quarterback, a 5-star couple of receivers, tight ends, running backs. And then you get guys on the D-line who can hold the other team's point down. It's the tip of the iceberg. And Josh Heupel said it best after the said it post Orange Bowl. We're just getting started. 2 years in Josh Heupel era, and we have exceeded expectations both years, where we should be in shambles. Yes, you can argue that we've had the transfer portal. So what? It's not our fault. It's not like we asked for the special privilege. Well, you sure as fucking guarantee that we took advantage of it, and that propelled us. And instead of a 5-year build, possibly, into 2 years of legitimately contending for a national championship. Year 2. If year 3 progresses and we get 11, or 12, and at least 12-2 or 12-1 and something along those lines, another New Year's Six bowl, or at the very least a playoff berth, that will be huge for 2024. That's when you'll start seeing the 5-star prospect and talent pouring in. And then that will be the floodgate that just opens up where Tennessee is washing away all the fucking competition. You mark my words. If we can compete in the same manner, if we can fit right now, in my opinion, the floor is 10-2. I hate to say it, but I believe Bama is going to be a close loss. They're going to want payback. They're going to want retribution, and it will be in Tuscaloosa. They have maybe a little bit less seats than Neyland Stadium does. So that place is going to be rocking. They're going to be hostile, and they're going to want retribution. So I'm counting that as a possible loss, but I'm optimistic saying that we could go two in a row. And I'm saying Georgia should be a win. It's at Neyland Stadium, and if we can get there with at the very least one loss, undefeated, and that's the second to the last game of the year, I'm telling you, what you saw at Sanford Stadium is not going to be any fucking thing compared to what you're going to see in Neyland Stadium in 2023. I promise you. So that's kind of what I have on that. And then I want to say something where people want to complain about how Tennessee fans are complaining about being finished behind Nick Saban and the Alabama team in the last rankings. If you think that stuff doesn't matter, it matters to the coaches. That right there costed Josh Heupel around maybe a $50,000 bonus. Coaches who finish 5th or better get bonuses. People don't understand that, but they do. It may not matter to the fans. They may not be getting the money, but that is an incentive for the coach. And that's an incentive for the players to want to follow a coach. And then we were 10 votes away from – I just learned this a couple of days ago, and I've been waiting for the next show. But because of 10 votes of voters putting Washington and Penn State's dumbasses ahead of Tennessee in their voting, Bama was 9 or 10 votes away from finishing behind Tennessee. It's because of those dumb fucks. That's why Tennessee was finished 6th, because of 10 votes.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I mean, I guess I'll kind of go on the same kind of route that you're on as well. You know, I mean, I think 10-2 is definitely going to be the floor for Tennessee.
I think 11-7 at the very least.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's possible, but 11-1 is the most realistic ceiling.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think 12-0. I mean, if we do, it'll be just like this year being a surprise. You know.
Honestly, I'll take 11-1 with a bow win. That count a bow win. I'll take another one of those for one more year, and then the following year, I'm telling you, that's when you're going to start seeing legitimate talent, 5-star talent pouring in.
I mean,
let you finish.
Josh doesn't even have all his recruits right now. There's still some Pruitt people in there, you know. But I look back on 2022, I would say that the South Carolina game really is my biggest hurt because I mean that kept us out of the playoffs. I mean that game it would have been Georgia versus Tennessee in the Peach Bowl if we would have won that game. It makes me sick. You know what I mean? It makes me sick. I think that would have been the turning point for us. And there would be no kind of justification for Alabama to be ahead of us at all if we would have won that game. I mean, I get that, you know, people are like, well, you lost by 30, 20, whatever the case was. It was like 60 points that they had scored. But at the same token, I mean, look, you know, we can sit here and argue all day about Alabama being.
I got something to say, and I'll try to make it quick whenever you're like done with what you got to say. But it's the big piggyback off of what you just said.
Oh yeah, I mean for people to be upset about Alabama being ahead of us, I definitely am because you know we go in there and we kill LSU. We go in there and you know we take care of business at Alabama with a close win. But we killed LSU and LSU beat them. I don't think they should have even been in the top 10 after that. I mean, that's just my, you know, take on it. But enough about that guy. What were you going to say real quick? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.
So this is what aggravates me. And going back to the finishing pose, explain this to me to where it makes sense, to where it makes legitimate, logical sense. Run the playoffs. TCU starts at 4th. They're ranked 4th. They lose their conference championship. They get bumped the fuck up to 3rd. They beat Michigan. Congratulations. And then national championship happens. They get destroyed worse than what Tennessee did. Worse. And then they get ranked to number 2. Tennessee loses to South Carolina on the fucking road by less points, and they get knocked down. I think they were number 1 in the poll, and they got knocked down to like 7th or 8th or something like that. Maybe 6th. I can't remember at this point. At that point, I kind of didn't give a fuck because I was a little pissed because of how that works. And then you got Bama, who's like head-to-head and all that gets rated above us, gets ranked above us. Like, explain to me. Explain it to me. You can't make it make sense. There's no way. And now people are going to say, well, with the whole traditional BCS way, it's tradition that the two people who make it to the national championship, the winner gets ranked 1, and then the loser gets ranked 2. Who gives a shit? Like, if it's a close game, understandable. That's fine. But when you lose by 50 fucking points and you score 1 touchdown, and you got lucky on that 1 touchdown because of a busted-ass coverage, then it doesn't make sense.
Yep. No, it doesn't. But again, guys, hey, look, I think we had a very successful night here tonight with myself and Mr. Happy Hour. Be locked in. We'll be back Wednesday. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. If you share it on all of your forums that you have, all your social medias.
If you don't have any more other than Facebook, you make them. I don't give a shit. You make a TikTok. You make a Instagram. You make a Twitter. I don't care.
There you go.
Do it.
There you go.
5 more Facebooks.
But guys, I do want to say that it has been a pleasure with you guys tonight. It's been an amazing time here with Mr. Happy Hour. I want to thank him for taking his time out of his night from his family to do this show with us tonight. Mr. Happy Hour and everybody out there in the entire universe and Vol Nation, I hope that you guys have a fantastic night. Mr. Happy Hour, I'm signing off. You have a wonderful night, sir.